Good evening and welcome to the weekly Sit Chat. My name is Dinakar. I am a leader on demand and work with various companies for improving their performance and have been delivering the doHow of German execution excellence to make in India. So with that brief introduction, let us start Sit Chat. I took the opportunity as part of the Sit member to organize this Sit Chat every Thursday at 8:30 on various topics of relevance and importance to startup companies and founders, and also other companies. It's not that startup is the only one who will benefit from this. So with that brief introduction, I would request Dr. Anurag to introduce yourself, and then you made a presentation. It's really fantastic. I never expected a presentation for this kind of chat. It's really fantastic. Thanks a lot. Very, very professional. So I can share it on my screen, or if you want, you can share it on your screen also, and then start talking about your concepts and your ideas on financial discipline, and then we start a open discussion. Over to you, Dr. Anurag.
Okay, sir. So you can share it your screen. It will be better for me.
Sure. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, Dinakar.
Okay.
Yes. So I am Dr. Anurag SD Rai from Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. So basically, I am electrical engineer. So BTech, MTech, and PhD in electrical engineering and handling incubation center of one of the prominent educational group of Central India called named LNCT Group of Institutions. So we have a rich background over industries and educational institute to run at ours end. So the topic which was given to me today for discussion is regarding maintaining financial discipline for a startup. So since I am also part of SIT WhatsApp group, and we learn a lot of things. So that is why I have taken this for a startup specifically, because talking about corporates, talking about different other domains will become more vast. So that is why I have taken in perspective of a startup. Sir, sir please change second slide. So in this we are going to talk about financial discipline, how to maintain financial discipline in startup ventures, and then at last we will have a summarization also, what is required and how we can do our financial planning in long-term sustainability and growth for a startup. So next slide. So key financial challenges for a startup in nowadays, which each and everyone when we look for startups will understand, is lack of capital and resources. So capital in terms of both physical assets, monetary assets, and resources also in terms of both having good manpower, having good financial guiding resources, a mentor resource pool, people who can able to connect those early stage startup to the correct market and to the correct network where they can pitch their products and for other sustainability. So this is very much lacking in present era, and this kind of thing our group SIT is doing it, connecting people to the correct capital, connecting people to the correct resource. That group is doing. Then uncertain revenue stream, because when anyone is starting their own startup, own businesses, they have very much uncertain revenue stream. For example, I have a startup, they are working in healthcare sector, health tech sector, and the issue is that the team is having 17-18 members now, and their health tech domain, and the product, both SaaS product and product as a service, both are in very evolutionary stage. So they are evolving. So how they are generating money? So they are taking projects from other software companies. They are taking small projects and other kind of work from the network, and then they are earning. So unchannelized revenue stream is one of the biggest challenge. Then high operating cost, because presently the operational cost and office cost and other kind of costs become very much fluctuating in each and every sense. And the main higher operating cost is retaining manpower. Retaining good and quality manpower is becoming very great challenge nowadays. Then limited access to funding. So there is, for example, if you got funded from or you got any government grant nowadays, there are a lot of government grants going on: Nidhi EIR, Nidhi Prayas, DST funding, DBT funding, but they have very small size, 5 lakh to 25 lakh of seed fund and grants. A startup in early stage they are getting, and people are thinking they have received a sustainable grant to build their product, making it to the market and start earning a healthy and handsome amount of money. But that is not true. So these are the key challenges each and every startup presently facing in Indian perspective. So sir, next slide. So budgeting and planning. So with that thing, we can suggest being an expert and being mentors. We can suggest that budgeting and planning before starting a startup or switching over to the entrepreneurial journey, it become very much important. So revenue projections, expenses and cash flow management to be decided very much earlier before jumping into the startup, before jumping into the entrepreneurial journey each and every time we are doing. So that is why at our incubation center, so we have 2 incubation centers. The first few days we focus on is very much dependent on the revenue projections, expenses and cash flow management of the startup. Because if we does not focus on this, the startup will not survive in the longer run. And then each and every time in India, we have a perspective to say 98% of startup and 98% of the new ventures fail eventually due to non-blending of their resources towards the correct budgeting and planning. So this is the major thing. Sir, next slide, sir. Then creating realistic financial projection. So this is one of the biggest thing which is required in present scenario of India, because we are having very good and great social media influencers. We have great financial gurus and everyone over YouTube, Instagram, and people are coming and selling their projects, that if you do course with our thing, you will become billionaire and millionaire after this course, eventually after this course. So they are only focused on their selling of their thing. But realistic financial project required presently while planning for financial planning and thing. So revenue projections, market research and analysis, sales forecasting. So before starting each and every time things, everyone has to do the market research and analysis of the product, then realistic market approach and analysis of the project, sales forecasting. Because nowadays when we are working with lots of startup na, so presently we have 300 to 400 startup working with us, from pre-incubation stage to the growth stage of startups. And each and every time we have to focus, we have to talk with the founders on the perspective that they have to talk on realistic basis, and they are not in the realistic world. So they are in the projection world. If our projections are bigger, then only we are going to achieve the things. But it is not true. So expense projections are also required. So what are the fixed costs? What are the variable costs? Contingency plannings. And the contingency planning is one of the biggest assets, because no one is planning for contingency. If there is any kind of breakdown or any kind of alteration in their plannings happen, what plan B and C they guys have. So this is very much required in present era. So next slide, sir. So controlling costs. So this is also one of the tool which is required. So identifying and minimizing unnecessary expenses, negotiable favorable terms with suppliers and vendors. So negotiation skills are also very much lacking in present era of entrepreneurs and startups, especially in founders. So they need to think that someone else has to negotiate in terms of them, and they have to be given resources for free and all those kind of things, which is not very much true in present era. Then emphasizing cost consciousness across the organization. So there is a trend that startups and the new businesses which are coming up, they have to burn a lot. They have to burn a lot in with the unnecessary expenditure of expenses and the expenditures they are doing for their office expenses, travel expenses, and all other kind of thing, very at a different level. So that this is not good for the health of any early stage organizations, because they are getting those party cultures and all those kind of thing, which is not good. So those kind of things to be taught to the entrepreneurs on very early stage notes. So I have few messages also. Let me. So yeah, negotiation skills are poor. What makes them poor in negotiation?
Probably, okay. Dr. Anurag, you can take those questions at the last.
Okay.
Okay, you can go with your flow.
Okay. So then cash flow management. So importance of cash flow management, techniques for managing cash flow. So regular monitoring and analysis. So presently what I am saying, that the financial planning, pre-financial plannings, our early stage startups and entrepreneurs are not doing. And the difference is why this kind of thing is happening in present era. When we talk on very realistic grassroots level, the thing is that no one I have done graduation, post-graduation and my PhD, all in single stream of electrical engineering. But when I talk on the realistic ground level, that being to my journey from very basic graduation to PhD, I have never been encountered to a thing like how to manage my finances, how to manage the finances of an organization, where I can handle the things, I can handle manpowers and resources, and how I understand all those things. When I entered into industry, I entered with the core industry. There, when we are at shop floor, we understand that how much huge investments are coming up. When copper, we purchase copper, we purchase core, we purchase many products. Then those financials we are doing, then we understand what are the financial planning. And presently, when anyone, a new startup coming up, they are on SaaS product, they are on product as a services, and they are not looking up to the manpower requisite which is required at the grassroots level in developing those product and all those kind of things. So they does not have even those thing in their instinct that they have to monitor regularly the cash flow and the entire system for their system. And they does not even calculate the cash flow for further second month, third month, fourth month, fifth month, or quarterly cash flow they have or not. If any division does not work out, they just fire the entire division. They just shut down the division. They just fire the entire division, and they does not bother about that what happens to their teammates. So this kind of culture happened because the cash flow management early stage startups are not doing. So regular monitoring and analysis they are not doing. Efficient billing and collections. So most of the time we have also encountered with the fact, so if they are doing sales, they are not collecting. They are not converting their sales to the monetization, because they are not even billing their customers. So they are in the era, they will raise a financial round, and they have enough cash flow in their accounts, and they are not even concerning with their financial officers and CFOs. So those kind of things also we are finding. Managing inventory and working capital. So this is one of the important tool, that working capital and inventory management and a closed loop cycle between the entire system to be maintained by early stage startups. So this is the tool. Then financial controls and systems. So next slide is having financial control and system pointers. So why I have done this study, type 0, type 1, 69%. So about type study, this is all regarding that we have to study a lot each and every time. That is, so these are the fictitious terms study about, and these percentage marks. The main pointer is between. So implementing financial control, segregating financial duties. So each and every time financial duties to be segregated, then regular financial reporting and analysis to be marked, internal audits to be made compulsory, and it is to be made compulsory quarterly by the early stage startups. Because if they does not do, they are the present era of Indian startup ecosystem or Indian entrepreneurial ecosystem is like they does not have to do audits. So they are milestone based people, and if they have achieved milestone, they think they will raise the next round. So these are the things which is to be corrected inside the system. Utilizing financial systems and tools. So accounting softwares, expense tracking systems. So these both things people are doing. People are smart nowadays. They are using Zoho Book. They are using Fresh Desk and all those kind of tally as a tool. So it was very old now. Zoho Book they are using, Fresh Desk they are using, billing softwares they are using, but they are not analyzing. The main problem is that the CFOs of an organization have to analyze those tools. Why I am focused on very realistic points with the fact is that because since I am leading an incubator, I am seeing that the new age startups which are coming up, they are using all modern tools and technology and each and every thing, but the main thing is that they are not analyzing it. So that is why analysis word came many times at these slides. So next, financial risk management. So identifying and assessing financial risk like market risk, credit risk, and operational risk. And this credit risk is one of the biggest thing, because nowadays when people does not able to deliver their product at the right time, they are not able to deliver their what they have said to their customer, then their credit will be vanished. literally, and they does not have the second, third, fourth, and fifth round to be. So the repeatability of customer will become a greater challenge. So they have to maintain the credits, then developing risk mitigation strategies, insurance coverage, then diversification of revenue stream. So presently the startups and the new age entrepreneurs and the new age businesses which are coming up, they does not even know the types of insurance coverages which comes into the play. So if they have product, they does not even know if they will do the insurance of their product, and if at any point of time they have to recall their product, and if it is insured, then they does not have a financial risk. So those kind of things. And when people educate on those note, they does not understand that why it is required. So they thought that they can they are saving 50 paisa, 1 rupees in those kind of things, and it is not true, because we have seen the same real incident at Odisha. And when we go to book a ticket at IRCTC, so there 10 paisa, 20 paisa, 30 paisa, or 1 rupees, 2 rupees extra ticketing by taking insurance cover. So that importance came when those kind of thing happens. So similarly in a startup also those things are very much required. Then funding and investor relationships. So presently people think that getting investment is relay journey. So one investor will come, then they will pass on to another, and this is not the truth. Having good and healthy relationship with the peoples and customers, those who have trusted you, will take you to the long routes, because building a unicorn and building an organization like Tata and Birla both have different thoughts, and building a sustainable organizations like Tata, Birlas or Mahindras, so that is required, and that thinking has to be passed on to our new early stage ventures and cultures. So maintaining transparency and accountability with the investors without adding any flaw or things to your cap table is also required. Effective communication of financial performance and goals are required. So, and developing relationship with the potential investors and lenders, because this is very much required each time. So conclusion is like recapping with the maintaining financial discipline, which I have been at. So this pie chart does not compile with anything. It is for pictorial presentation only. So key takeaways we can take after discussion of this presentation. So encouragement to implement financial discipline practices for long-term success. So this is very small pointers which I have hello.
Yes,
So these are few pointers I have created to discuss during the meeting. So this is also my first time during this Thursday meeting. So I got call from sir, and he just give me that you have this topic to discuss with each and everyone. So I just prepare this thing, because I am not financial person, but lot of thing we are doing with our startups, and we are facing those problems. Even we are having those kind of thing that presently when we have those CFOs and accounting peoples also present era, so they does not have the wholesome idea about the process which industries are doing. So that is very much required nowadays, that the financial people should have the idea that what their organization is actually doing from and getting the financial cycle closed.
Super. Thank you so much, Dr. Anurag Rai. Would you like to switch on your camera? I think it was a wonderful, excellent presentation. There you see claps already coming up. It was very comprehensive, extremely deep, and really outstanding. I'm really awed with your presentation, Dr. Anurag Rai.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to ask, I would like to just stress upon two things which you mentioned, which was contingency, very, very important. I remember when I started my company, somebody said, whatever plans you have done, you should at least multiply it by 40 times because
Yes.
the expenses will increase exponentially without you knowing at all. And the other thing was on the cash flow management, which is extremely important, not only for the startup, even for small companies and a large organization that is many a times not really done. And the last one, which you said was very, very interesting and extremely important, the internal audits, which again is a standard practice in multinational companies, but small companies don't do that. You know, it's like there's an aversion for audits. So what?
Sir,
what
actually, with the early stage startup, if they do this kind of practices, those who have adopted, they survived in longer run.
Absolutely. That they are well-known good practices. See, I had one question before we throw open to the others to ask the questions. See, in any startup, you are kind of combining the family to business, and everything is in one basket. Most of the time when you start as a proprietor, in which case there is no separate account. The same account is for family, for the proprietor also. What do you think would be your suggestion so that there is a clear differentiation? Because if the financial discipline is not maintained, getting funds also is difficult, because the guy who's giving it, he sees a balance sheet, it is not really clean, and there are a lot of ifs and buts. Then it becomes a very difficult thing. What is your suggestion for such people, where when you start the business, how would you differentiate between your personal accounting and company accounting?
So, sir, first of all, the very good question you have raised regarding personal accounting and all those kind of things. First of all, if we are doing a startup, so as per our Indian government regulation also, and DPIIT also, so sole proprietary firms are not considered as a startup. So sole proprietary firms should not be taken into the accounting, because with them we can't raise investment and all those kind of benefits which government are doing, and investors are also not okay with that, because each and everything which is belong to a particular person. For example, I am having my sole proprietary firm with a good turnover. If something happens to me, everything shrink off. So nothing to be transferred from me to anyone. So it is like that. But if an organization like partnership firm is there, so if something happens to a particular partner, then another partner is responsible. And a private limited is very good tool to go with instead of LLP also, because limited liability partnership also having the issue that if you go for raising funds, then at that instant of time, then LLP firms having very complex structure in onboarding another person as a partner and all those kind of things, because distributing of partnership is totally different than sharing a board seat as a director with a very minimal shares. So it is also one of the tools. And there is another thing which is required as per if government norms, I am saying, then if you are running a private limited company as a startup, then after 3 years you can list it as a SME BSE listed company. So you can list at SEBI or Bombay Stock Exchange as a SME BSE listed. So that is why your personal accounting and your thing to be separated each and every time, because company and their balance sheet and cap table should have that clear differentiation. If you are drawing each and everything, the profit and all those kind of thing, then investor never come to your board. During due diligence, if they find this disparity, so investor does not pool money.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now there was 2 questions on the chat. Maybe we can look at that. One was regarding negotiation. Sagar, you can only ask the question. I think it's a better thing than the...
Yes. Good evening, doctor. Dr. C, you mentioned about the founders and co-founders being very poor in negotiations. Now, what do you think are the reasons that they are poor? Is it they are not skilled enough? Please throw some light on that.
So, sir, it is not valid for each and every time, but when because since we are working with good number of startups, what we have found that when early stage startup, those who are just stepped from college and they started their ventures and their startup or entrepreneurial journey, we found that they are hesitating towards doing negotiation. They are hesitating towards asking about many things. They are not doing good research also. So what they are doing, they are not doing good research in terms of what grassroots reality research they are not doing. They are doing research like they have to do drop shipping from Alibaba. They have to do drop shipping from so those online platform, but they are not doing what their nearby industry is doing, how they can do, and that is why they are not able to come up with the particular price bandwidth and all those kind of realistic condition, which is actually with the Indian scenario. So those actual grassroots research is lacking up with the present stage entrepreneurs and startups.
Yeah. So any other question from anybody? Please go on. Banu, I think you are wanting to. You're thinking of asking a question. You please go on.
No. Please. Let others. Maybe I'll have my question in one of days.
Yeah. Dinakar sir, I have one question for Rai.
Please go on. Please go on, Amar. Yeah.
Good evening to all of you. One topic I think so you are not shared is about the branding of a commodity that you want to sell. Branding today has become a big part and parcel of every product that you make. And one is the consistency of the quality. So that plays a very important role in the startup's business. Because unless you stand by your quality, success will not come to your place.
True.
So I think so we should apply a methodology for branding a product first and sticking to what quality standards are there. That's very important.
From what you say, Amar, I think what we should be doing is when we look at cash flow management and financial planning, the necessary amount for branding also needs to be considered.
Yes.
That is one side of the story. The other one, which I feel is the consistency in performance, consistency in whatever we are doing, is what that builds the brand.
Absolutely.
And that consistent delivery of high quality products and services is the key to really building a brand, is my opinion. What do you say about that, Dr. Anurag Rai?
Yes, sir. The financial plannings and all those kind of things. So in terms of building brand in present perspective, sir, you can the scenario is very different. If we understand the scenario 15 years back, building a brand is very tedious task. But if presently at 2023, we can build a brand in 3 days, 5 days, but we can't prove the proficiency of a brand in those 3 to 5 days, because building a brand become very easy because you have social media, you have influencers, you have celebrities who you can board into your place. But building a trust after building a brand is totally a different scenario, because that is why a one term which I have mentioned there is credit. Because if your credit have gone in perspective to the market, then you does not have a next chance to explore the market again. Because so we have to be very much sincere about our credit, our face values, and our connects that whom we are pitching in. So building brand is very good thing, but sticking to true product and trueness with our aspect of what product, services or things we are providing to our customer, or whether it is B2B customer, B2C, or direct to the customers. So customer is always king. So we have to focus on the customer need.
Building brand with trust, sir. Trust is very important in business,
Yes.
in any
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Supriya, would you like to ask your question? Please introduce yourself and then you can ask your question, please. And also switch on your camera.
Yes. Good evening, architect Supriya from Creatrix Design Studio for Better Living. My query to you, Dr. Anurag, is for professional practices like ours, wherein the law is little different on how we practice. Defined by, there is any difference in the financial disciplines what we do, and mostly we see that our practices are proprietary only.
So, ma'am, when you are doing proprietary things, because you are architect, so I understand, because I also we do also have one architect institute college at our university. So so we understand that architect students, journalism students, so and professionals also, they have lots of freelancing to do. But when creating it, institutionalizing the thing, you need a team, because you have a back-end team, you have good number of people who are working with you, because if you take any projects, lots of manpower is working with you. So creating a sustainable employee team is also very much required, and over a course of time you have to create a co-founding team also, because you are trusting few people from many years. So that is why organization building happens. So you have to build. But during a starting era, you can have sole proprietary firms, you can have those kind of thing. Another things what you can do now, a new structure which our Indian government has permitted, called OPC, one person company you can create. It is having same authority as private limited company, but a single director can hold 100% of an organization. So those kind of structures can be found, because that give you a lot of freedom in financial planning, because you can come up with ESOP to your employees, ESOP to your dependents and all other things. So it become more freedom come into play. So those kind of structure, practicing sole proprietary is not a bad thing, because lot of thing when we move out to market, and lot of shops we are seeing, so they are sole proprietary firms, they are doing crore rupees business in a year, and selling lots of goods, and having lots of employees with them, and having financial tables maintained. So they are not doing any bad thing, but they are not institutionalizing things, they are not making organized. If they have organized those things, then Paytm, PhonePe, they does not have to come. What a next generation perspective these new entrepreneurs are bringing, they are just institutionalizing the old practices.
Very well said.
With the correct structure of organization.
Yeah, very well said.
Trade with those things also.
Alan has built a big brand, sir. Alan has built a big brand. I think you referred about Alan.
Yes.
Yeah, very well said, Dr. Anurag. And also the OPC or a private limited will definitely give some kind of a limited liability from the founder's perspective.
Yes.
It is extremely important. If you are a proprietor, there is no liability which is limited to all your finances, entire whatever you have will all be, what should I say? You are liable to everything through your personal finances. If you have a LLP or a private limited company, the liabilities are limited to the amount of money you have invested in that company. And
the whole liability belongs to that particular company only. If anything happens to the company, those liability is not directly proportional to you. But running a proprietary firm is 100% the liability of firm, and your liability is synchronized.
It will be the same. There is no differentiation at all.
There is no differentiation between you and the partnership firm.
Super. Thank you so much. Ramesh ji, go on, please. Unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and then ask your question, please. Or your comment.
Ramesh ji, you're on mute.
You're on mute still.
Thank you. Thank you for all the insights. Dr. Anurag, I help startup companies to scale and grow. Therefore, I work predominantly with a lot of entrepreneurs and then founders. One observation I am seeing is this financial and accounting knowledge is highly specialized skills. Founders, co-founders are very great in their respective idea. Predominantly, I am from IT industry. Therefore, they are good at programming. They are good at product ideas, etc., etc. But these specialized skills, it is not available in the co-founding team. B, even though if they have the managers, finance manager, or even though they may have CFO, but the dynamic changing of technology landscape, business model variations, pricing model variations is really challenging. So even the CFO struggles, co-founder struggles. So what type of insights you can share? How do we manage these challenges? Because CFO will say that, boss, I cannot talk about this SaaS models or rental models, because that is true. He is coming with one particular angle. Whereas co-founders say that I am only good at my product offerings. I do not have this financing accounting discipline. Therefore, it is a contrasting view. How do we solve this?
So, sir, for this, what we usually do, so we usually do the orientation of core team, because alignment of core team towards financials is very much required, and it comes on very later note. Because at first, you are very correct that when nowadays we have startups who are coming up, they are from tech background, they does not have those financial insights inside their system. So what we first usually want to do that, let them come up with their product, let them come up with their whole marketing thing or POC or marketing experience of their product and exposure of their product. And if they are actually going at floor with their product and they start getting revenue, then what we do financial clinics with the whole core team, along with their CFOs and main people, understanding them what vision different is required. That you are very much correct. Most of the time, I also being in very much in a struggling phase, that when I go to my group CFO stating that I am doing this thing, and they are not understanding that why being in foundation company, section 8 company, having 12A and ATG, we are very much bothered to support startups. So we have lots of other channels to do the thing. So then we align them that what vision we have, what things we do, because we have lot of thing when we have worked on floor, we have lot of thing to display to them. Then those things, so they also understand things, and they start coming up with the clause which is required. So as per their law, what to do, what not to do, and how to do. So those things come when you start doing. So unless and until you are on the floor, you just read out the book of laws and each and everything. So you will become afraid of that. I can't go with my product on the floor. So those things comes on the second stage when you start getting revenue. Then whole core team should have idea that what laws are required, what laws to be followed, and what laws and regulation to be skipped. So those things comes on those note when revenue streams are channelized.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Anurag. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So any further questions or comments? Manish, you had a question. Please introduce yourself and ask the question. Manish, please go on.
I got the answer actually. I think he responded on chat.
Okay. Okay. Super. So now, if there are no further questions, yeah,
There is no one. It's Sagar here.
Yeah, please go on.
Okay. Now, it's just an observation. See, we keep speaking about mentors, right? Business mentors, technical mentors. But don't you feel that the startups actually have to have a financial mentors as well, a qualified
Yes.
financial mentors, not just about the
Perfect.
CFOs?
Yes.
Now,
Yes,
why I
they
raise
have
this
to.
question is, why I raise this observation is, we see a lot of these new age startups selling the old thing in a new packet, doing deep discounting and only working on bringing on customers onto their apps, and they are screwing up a lot. So, should there be a regulation as well as such?
So I have lot of things to share. So since I belong to a good host institute, also having lot of students from first year to PG PhD doing at our institute also, and lot of entrepreneurs, those who come to us also, serious entrepreneurs. So there is one common thing which as a student we have. So when a student migrate from its own city to our city, so they have problems, sir. We have an idea that everyone have problem in finding a rented house, sir. Then we have a problem that everyone is having does not have good food. मम्मी के हाथ का खाना वाली जो कहानी होती है. So those startup come into play. And they does not have idea. So they have just old school theory like Ola, Uber, how they started. They does not have a single penny to spend. So those kind of things, lots also. So these all thing which is inside the system is due to all those the free gyan and which we have at YouTube and all those kind of things. So they are putting up in very wrong way that you does not have, you may have lots of videos inside the system which say that you should not have to spend a single penny. You just come up with the idea and apply here, and you will get health scholarship. You will go to foreign and get good funding. So these kind of things happen. So what the role of good mentor and the people who are inside the ecosystem is to correct them at very moment, and we are doing that. So we just first burst the bubble which they have, and we just guide them to the correct path, that how to evaluate that product, how to fit their product to the market need, how to fit their product to the customer need. And those things when happen, then magic start happening. So you have to give at least 6-7 months of trust to the early stage startup, because when they come to you, they have very childish thing to play. And then when you give them time to spare on the floor, then they come up with the wonders. And then you have to give them, if they are now in that mature state, to give the financial thing and all those kind of thing, then you have then those things can be started. So it is very much correct that financial mentors are very much required, but the key part is that at which stage, because each and every startup which comes to you, or each and every entrepreneurs, so first we have to evaluate that at which stage of entrepreneurial journey they are, and do they require the correct financial guidance at this particular stage. Then if you pass on that thing at that correct particular stage, then they can become sustainable. If we give earlier to the particular stage now, then they shattered out, because at many of the time they will become afraid, अरे इतना सारा कुछ देखना है मेरे को, या मेरे को या or we have to maintain this kind of thing, these are the compliances we have to. So they become afraid of compliances, because today's generation is not very much, because they are very smart workers now. So that is one of the biggest disadvantage which presently the era in which we are having, because we are AI driven era. And in this AI driven era, people does not want to do the hardcore work which they required. Because why I am giving you saying these kind of work presently because I am seeing lots of senior people are also here also, and when you are comparing your effort which you guys are putting and present generation are putting, so lots of different and disparity comes in play, and people are not understanding those things. So we have to make them realize that until and unless you put efforts on the floor, you can't be sustainable for longer run. So the particular stage of pitching is very much to be defined.
Super.
Well,
Thank you so much.
you.
And
Actually,
Sagar, I also would
Yeah,
like
please,
to
please,
add
please.
on whatever was explained by Dr. Anurag. See, if you look at it in India, if you remember last week's presentation, last week's sit chat, and the week before that, we spoke about the foreign investors being more risk taking, in the sense that you have an idea and they're prepared to invest for that idea. In my opinion, the craze to go beyond number of users or giving discounts for people to jump onto the service is mainly a strategy for customer acquisition. Strategy which is not only used by small startups but also large startups, which is what Jio, for example, did. Jio disrupted the market by giving free internet for how many years? 1 year, and now it is costing. You're not paying. It's not nowhere is it free. Or for the matter, Swiggy, they started by enrolling customers by giving free delivery, and the restaurant also was not possibly paying anything, and now you pay. The other day Muthu was telling, if you take a masala dosa from Swiggy, it is almost 4 times the expense of what you would be paying when you go to a restaurant. So I think this is a customer acquisition strategy, because if you have more customers, then your valuation of the company improves, and valuation of the company improves means the guy who's funding it, he would get better returns, because the investor, his only objective is to sell his shares and then walk out.
Exactly.
In any startup scenario. I have my brother-in-law who stays in Silicon Valley, and I keep talking about my startup and other startups in India. He keeps telling that, see, unless you are able to provide 10x returns, you don't go to an investor at all. Otherwise, you'll get really fleeced. If you are able to convince the investor that you are going to give 10x returns, then people will give money. And that's you should be able to convince that you're able to get the 10x returns. 10x is very important. 10x in 3 years. So it's something which is crazy, right? And that's the growth that people are looking at. Banu, you wanted to have a question.
True
Please
that. I just wanted to add one small thing, because I'm a holistic financial advisor. My company is Akaya Advisors, and we help, of course, even not startups, the business owners as a whole, them, their business, their families, but in terms of risk and only risk. Whatever risk connected to risk, we definitely take care. And as everybody else said, people have to first look at what is separate from this is business and this is my family. Many people don't do that. Even businesses that are grown for ages together, even if it is a private limited, it's a family owned business, they don't separately look at business and family as two entities, which we really help people doing that. And of course, the don'ts are very, very important when anybody, of course, for startups, I would say, before they venture on anything else, they should know the don'ts of the financial mistakes. Those days, they would like to, one of my auditor used to say, like I used to consult auditors, he used to say, depositing 20,000 rupees on in one particular day as cash, and you running a business is to be avoided. Don't collect anything more than 20,000 rupees from your customer. This is one of the don'ts that he told in an early stage. So any startup, any business, anybody should know their don'ts first very clearly, so that they know they don't do this, and the do's will follow properly automatically. That is one takeaway which I always tell any client, anybody, any individual also, in terms of financial plan. When I sit with them for a planning, I do that. And take everything with a possibility of a protection. Like we construct a house, we have everything, but we really put that one lock, right? Covering the risk is very, very important. Like he said, Odisha taught us, COVID taught everybody. COVID taught everybody the very, very important thing of medical insurance. So the risk, and when it comes to business, it's very important. Covering the risk of the business as against covering the risk of the family.
Ensuring your thing is very much required. So people does
ensuring
not even know that what kind of
Yes.
thing to be insured and what kind of thing should not to be insured.
Exactly. So what you have to insure, what you know, what you should not insure, and because it is business anyways, business people, they want to grow their business. They keep pulling their own properties, assets, and everything that can actually by the IBC can be attached. So properly have a policy with MWPA Act and stuff like that. Like we educate people on all these things, and I thought I should really take some more.
Sure.
Input
So
from
next
here.
one of these next weeks, I'll invite you as a expert. You can share your thoughts and your wisdom.
Oh yes, why not? Why not?
You are,
I'm not an expert, though I can definitely share a lot of insights and my real-time experiences.
Yeah, sure. You are where,
Right now.
You are from where? Bangalore or
Chennai? I'm from Chennai.
Oh, wow.
Chennai.
Excellent. Super. So thank you so much. And are there anybody wants to share anything?
Sir?
Otherwise, if all of you can. Yeah, please
Sir,
go.
I have one thing to Banu ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Wonderful experience you have shared on insurance, safety, and all. But most of the business houses you see in India are family-owned, not only in India, across the world. What is your say on that?
It is family-owned. That's what you say, right?
Yeah.
Even them, for them to after 2-3 generations, the third generation or the fourth generation, and now it was like this is the new gen 2023 era. People, those days were joint family. People used to take charge of the business. Now kids go to other countries, they don't even turn up. It's like
there is one more kind of imperative is like that. So those family-owned businesses are there, and when their kids start studying in schools, so they have schooling in boarding schools. So luxurious boarding schools, they are having their school study. They have colleges at foreign universities, big groups they are, and they does not have know and how of their business even at a single point,
and
because those kids does not have even visited their parental businesses or their parental offices in their entire lifetime for 100 times. And they does not even, because each and every time when they visiting their home, so their parents are having in discussion with them only. They are not discussing with their businesses and all, because they are living outside of their home. So that is why they are not getting those ethics. So that is why what Bhanu ma'am has correctly said, after third generation and fourth generation, shifting starts take place.
Actually, yes. Actually, I'm sorry. I would like to add one more thing. We have clients coming to us crying at the age of 60, 65. I built this empire-like business just for my children, but they are just not interested in doing anything about it. They say, did we ask? Just sell it, give us the money. They don't want illiquid things at all. Why do you have properties? We don't need. Just give us liquid. And you know what? That is the reason in India we have 1,20,000 crore plus as unclaimed, because these kids go away. They don't know what the parents have. They are not interested. It is not that they are not interested. They are busy with their lives. That is what I would say. They are busy with their life, and out of sight is always out of mind. And they don't get to know about even people here, living here every day, every rule and things. When they come here for a holiday for 20, 30 days, they are not able to do it. And that's one of the things actually I see. Many people, the startup, the first gen, second gen, they struggle a lot with transferring the business to the next generation.
That's true.
It's a big challenge.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. It was really wonderful. Sagar, would you like to take a picture of all of us together?
Yes. Please, may I request everyone to turn on their cameras?
Turn on your cameras. Those who don't, then they don't come in the picture.
Lakshmi Kant ji. Yes. Okay. And for a change, Namrata, we did not get a question from you. You've always been active with question. Okay, Manish, only you are remaining. Yes, Namrata. Manish, can you turn on your camera?
Yeah, I think last time also he had a problem with his camera. So just take a quick snap and then we are done.
Done. Done.
Super. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you everyone
let's
for
meet again
joining
next
us.
week. Next week
अनुराग
again.
जी,
Thank you so much.
बहुत धन्यवाद
Thank you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका
Thank
बहुत
you.
बढ़िया
Thank you.
समझाया।
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
धन्यवाद. Very nice session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And I will love to host you guys if anyone is coming to Madhya Pradesh, especially at Indore and Bhopal.
Yeah,
So
very
please
much.
do ping us,
Thank you so much.
and we will make the arrangements and whole things what we can do at our best. So thank you.